About that time, so let me make sure that I can see y'all and y'all can see me. Make sure you are sharing the video because we are still proceeding with our best interests, what works for us. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl Toya, and this episode is called It's Your Turn. So, the reason that I wanted to name this last episode and make It's Your Turn is because once we've done all of the work to kind of become who we are, or for putting the vision out into the world for who we want to be, it really takes a lot of courage, a lot of discipline, and a lot of dedication to actually follow through with it. And it gets really fucking discouraging, right? You start to work towards something, and then you meet losses, you meet setbacks, and you're ready to give up. You lose people closest to you because they may not believe what you believe, but it's important for you to have that internal clock, that internal monitor, to know that what you're doing is aligned for you, okay? It's your turn to be the teacher. We spend a lot of time, and I know I'm getting right to it, but this was on my spirit today. We spend so much time being a student. We spend so much time studying and telling people how much they inspired us and how much we idolize them and how much you've learned from them. But we don't realize that sometimes we are now having to become the teachers. So it's important that you step into that role and not be afraid to. Okay, God gives us vision. God gives us a plan that we have to put into action. The world is not going to change. The world needs your gift the way that you give it. And I'm not going to lie, I can kind of give my own testimony even with podcasting. I'm starting to see a lot more people podcasting, a lot more people talking about mental health. But when you're doing what you do, whatever it is, whatever it looks like, you have to know and understand that the way that God gave it to you is the way that it needs to be received. Just because you see somebody else doing it, they're not doing it like you. They ain't got that special sauce, that little twang, that little thing, the way that you have it. So it's your turn to put it into the world. The way that vision is in your head is exactly how it's going to come to be, but you have to trust yourself. You have to have faith in your vision. You have to have faith in the work that you put in. Okay? Don't disappoint yourself. So a lot of times when we have things that we want to do or things that we want to accomplish, and even for me, I'll say, like, I'm trying to make my family proud. I'm trying to make people proud, which is cool. Make people proud, but at the end of the day, you have to really sit back and reflect on, is what I'm doing making me proud? Is what I'm doing making me happy? People can be proud of you, but they can be proud of things that aren't even really who you are. You can be doing things just to make people proud, but at the end of the day, you're miserable with every accomplishment because it's not truly yours. You're miserable with everything that you kind of put yourself into because it's not what you wanted for yourself, and so you're not being fulfilled. So it's important when we are doing things that we are proud of, or that we say we are proud of, and things that we want to accomplish, you have to really check in with yourself and think about if you're proud. Okay? So let me get into my point. So when I say it's your turn, that means that, yes, scared, broken, with the story you have, with the tragedy that you have, with the heartache, with everything, with the losses that you've experienced, it's your turn to still step into it. That story doesn't mean that you can't. That story means that you need to let somebody else know that they can. And that's why you need to do it. That's why you need to go for it. You need to do all the things that God's putting inside of you, the things that you've planned to do. Don't waste the time that you spent planning and dreaming and working. Put those things into action fully. Okay? Do the things that you've been granted. And sometimes I'm realizing in my life right now that things are being presented to me that I never even imagined were in the stars for me. And so don't get afraid when you're presented with something, or when you're given a blessing or a person or a dream or a vision and you didn't have it in your plans. Because sometimes we plan things, but God in the universe and the ways of the world kind of just make us pivot and make us take another turn. You have to understand that this is for you and you need to pour into it. You need to accept it. We sometimes forget that when we are given good things, we doubt them and we have questions about is this really for me? I don't know how to handle it. And we fumble the grace and the blessings that God's given us. And I know I seen a post one time that was like, you pray for a cake and God gives you dough, eggs, and butter, and you fumble it because you don't know what to do with it. We're not going to get it exactly how we want it, but I promise you the things that you work for, you're going to get. The things that you make yourself better for, you're gonna get. And that's another thing too that I think we forget when we're trying to accomplish goals, is we forget that we have to be able and willing and open-minded enough to receive. You can't catch anything with closed hands or holding on to things that are no longer for you. You have to release so that you can receive. Amen. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to mention is you have to understand that when you're stepping into your turn, it's not going to be easy. Just because you say, I'm ready to step into this field, just because I said I'm ready to start podcasting, y'all, yes, I have the gift. Yes, I have the talent to connect, but I didn't realize some of the behind the scenes things that I needed to know. You're going to face struggles. But in my mind, I've never told myself that I shouldn't podcast. I've never told myself that I should dissolve the idea of Universal Teas. I just realized, and I kept in my mind, that I have to be willing to learn along the journey. It's not a straight arrow getting to where you want to go. I know that I can speak well. I know that I can connect with people. I know that there'll be people that support me. I didn't know that I had to know about video editing, audio editing. I didn't know about scenes and live. It discouraged me, but I realized that I had to keep going. You have to be willing to learn and take those pivots and take those things that you may not have seen coming. And find out where your blessing is in it. Find out where the lesson that you need is in those things, and you have to run with it. It's your turn. Don't shy away from purpose. Don't shy away from opportunity, because you're given opportunity because you can do it. And if you can't do it in that moment, that means you have to take a step back, give yourself time to learn from it. It is your turn. You've studied, you've prayed, you've wished for, you've hoped for, you've worked for it long enough. You have to step into that thing and tell people it's my turn. Yeah? Know that sometimes when we are stepping into our purpose, when we are stepping into things, we know that we're going to suffer losses, but there's going to be fear. Every time you get to a next level, you don't know what to expect. That fear of the unknown is heavy. But understanding is what gets you there. And what makes me able to keep going and keep chasing this dream and this vision that I have is already knowing that uncertainty is going to come. Already knowing there's things that are going to make me fearful. I know that. Oh, excuse me. So when they come, they're not unfamiliar. I'm not expecting things to be easy. So I'm more willing to work for it. I'm more willing to be diligent. I'm more willing to be consistent and disciplined, because I know that nothing good can be appreciated without a struggle. I wouldn't know how to handle it for real. I would mishandle things. You know what I'm saying? You pray for something for so long, or you experience something that's unfortunate. You experience something or somebody that's not for you for so long, and when you're presented with the very thing, the very person, the very opportunity, the very job that you've been working for and getting yourself together for, you might be afraid of it because you never handled it. You really thought that in your mind is the only place that this goodness existed, but that's not true. The goodness that you see in your mind, it can come into the physical realm. You just have to, 1, work for it, and 2, be ready to step into that thing when it shows up at your door. Okay? Stop psyching yourself out. You are ready. You are ready. And if you feel like you're not ready, let yourself say, I'm not ready now, but I'm ready to learn. Always be ready to learn. But giving up can't be an option. Quitting can't be an option, because if that vision is clear, if you see it, if you feel it, if you know, if you can imagine who's around you, if you can think about all the 5 senses that you'll experience to have that thing, it's yours. You just got to be diligent and patient and give yourself enough grace to get there. That's a word. Give yourself grace to get there. But don't turn back. The only guarantee you have in turning back is that you'll never make it. Okay? This point is that it may look different. That's what came to my mind when I was thinking about this, is that when you step into something where it's your turn, whether it be a job, whether it be love, whether it be building family relationships, whatever it is that you're trying to do creatively, starting a business, writing a book, it may look different from what you were taught. It may be different from what you had planned for yourself. It may be different from the things that the people that you've surrounded yourself with for so long believe in, but you got to do it anyway. And the struggle that I've realized in this, and this is something that I'm kind of navigating in my own life right now, the struggle with it being different is that you don't have a blueprint for it. Sometimes it looks different because you don't know who to go to for a mentor. Sometimes it looks different and you're afraid of, these people have been my core people for so long. We build community and we forget. And I just seen a friend post this or repost it on Instagram. Everything is temporary. We get so afraid of losing things, losing people. And I don't mean by death. I just literally mean you grow apart, that we cling to things that we've outgrown to try to keep them. This vision is something I've never heard somebody talk about around me, so I kind of psych myself out of doing it. This type of love is something that I've never seen around me, or that I know probably isn't the same as the people that I've been around, but I try to psych myself out of it. When you have to figure out and you really have to get quiet and still with yourself. And I think this is why, y'all know, I be reading the Bible sometimes, okay? But I think that's what it means in the Bible when it says, peace be still. In order to find your peace in whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever goal you have, whatever vision you're chasing, you have to find stillness. Because you have to be able to revert back to that stillness so that you can hear. So that you can feel deeply and clearly what it is that you need to be doing. And so when things are different, we really got to tap into what works for us. Because in our stillness, in our solitude, and I recorded an episode that you should listen to if you haven't, called The Sanctity and Solitude. You have to be able to go within and go back to yourself and ask and answer the question for yourself. I know they be saying if you talk to yourself, you're not crazy, but if you answer yourself, you are. But I want you to ask and answer yourself, does this feel good to me? Not what will they think? Not will this work in this setting? Not will this work for this? Because sometimes we're afraid of losing people because we don't even know the people that exist in this other world. I was just telling a friend about this too, because I'm planning this workshop that I want to do. But I think we forget that there's like communities for everything. There's communities for everything. There's pro this, pro that, support groups, support that. And you have to understand you need to go where you are wanted, go where you are welcomed. Because when you step into your turn, you might be turning away from some people that you're used to. When you step into your turn and your own vision and your own passion, you might be turning away from some things that you had already become familiar with. So we have to know and understand that community exists everywhere. And if you feel like you can't find a community, baby, that means it's your job to create the community. You have to start it. You have to be the initiator. You have to be the CEO. You have to be the founder. Because if it exists inside you, I bet you there's somebody else that is afraid to let it out of them as well. So step boldly into your shit and have boundaries about it. And don't argue with people about it. You don't got to explain what you're doing to people. They just got to see it and feel it. And if you're afraid that somebody might stop associating with you, somebody might not support your dream and your vision, I bet you it's somebody that would. You can't get stuck on the people that don't want what's best for you, don't want to see you grow, don't want to see you change. You have to think about the people who you are affecting, the people who you are most closely related to now. We change. People change. Situations change. Desires change. You know what I mean? For example, people's careers. People go to college for years, and then they figure out after college, after they've done this career for X amount of years, that this isn't even really what I wanted to do. It sounded and it looked good when I was in high school trying to pick out a college major, but now that I'm in the career, it ain't really working for who I've grown into. You know? So don't be afraid to turn and pivot, but just know that when it's your turn, it's your turn. Don't be afraid of opportunities that you're given, because God gives us opportunities so that we can take advantage of them. You may have spent, and this is a reason that I'm thinking, and it's just coming to me, so I hope I say it how I see it. Sometimes we have to understand that life is full of ebbs and flows. You get to the top of one mountain, and then you got to go down, because it's like, and I seen this on the Lauryn Hill interview. She said life is like the top of a mountain is mastership, and then when you come down, it's learning. So it's like Mastership learning. And so you have to realize when you move into something that's different than you expected, something different than what you've seen, something different than what you were taught, that just means that you have another group of people, another support group, another community that you need to influence. So you got to tap into that. God is telling you to move because you've done what you needed to do in this area. It's time for you to move. You've given the focus to planning and preparing. Now it's time for you to move. You got to give your purpose to doing. And in that doing, the people around you might start to look different. The things around you might start to change. The desires that you have for yourself might start to shift and alter. Flow with it. Flow with it. We're like the ocean. Our bodies are like 70% water, baby. We flow. You got to flow. It's in human nature for us to flow and change. And so know that when it's your turn, step up. Even if it's new, even if it's different. Your people are going to find you. Your people will find you. And the reason that we sometimes get so flustered when we feel like, oh, nobody's supporting me. These people turn their back on me. This person don't believe in me. Is because those aren't your people. You spend so much time hiding underneath what those people felt were most comfortable for you to be around them, that you were hiding from the people that actually needed you, from the people that were actually going to be your people. You know, your people can't find you if you're hiding. I just made a post on my Instagram. If you haven't already, go follow Universal Teas on Instagram. But I was saying, you gotta live in who you are authentically so that God has the right address to send your blessings to. Because if you're hiding behind a mask, if you're not being genuine, God might have every blessing for you, but he don't know what address to send it to because you hiding. Okay? And I said on there, stop being fraudulent to yourself so that you can get what you need to unlock your freedom. Right? We gotta have this desire. We all have this desire to don't leave. We have this desire to live free. I got you playing while I unpack, and I just have to say, ma'am, you are preaching this evening. I'm just saying. I'm just telling y'all my business. We get so afraid of who's gonna leave that we don't even realize who's gonna come. You so caught up on this man leaving you that you don't realize the blessing and the partner that you want is right around the corner. You so flustered about if you leave this job, what's going to happen, but you don't realize that the job of your dreams is right around the corner, but you can't handle both. You can't hold on to something and then be reaching for another thing. It don't work like that. You got to let go of the other thing so you can walk into your purpose, so you can step up into your turn. I can't keep moving forward if I'm holding on to something that's behind me, that's heavy. That's not how that works. You don't want to hold on to things that are holding you back. You want to be able to step into something. And the things and the situations and those chances that you take that are yours are always going to allow you to move forward. Anything that is for you, that is meant for you, that's destined for you, is always going to propel you forward. It's not going to hold you down. And now that I'm thinking of it, I might be a little bit against the word anchor. You know how we say, like, this person is my anchor, this job is my anchor. I don't want to be anchored to a damn thing. I want to be able to move through that thing. Guided, yes. Anchored, not so much. I think I want to do away with anchor. Let me know how y'all feel. I don't want to be anchored to anything. I want to be able to glide through that thing. I want to be guided through that thing. Okay? So I just want y'all to know that it is your turn. What is it your turn for? That very thing that you keep saying, oh, I know I can sing, but I don't really know if I want to try yet, and go for it. And don't let your goal, don't put it in a box. So some people are like, oh, I dance, I want to be a famous dancer. It's okay for that to be a goal, but don't limit your goal to that box. Your dancing skills could inspire other people. Maybe your job is to open a dance center to inspire younger dancers. Maybe your passion in writing is to open a writing workshop or a writing facility or host a creative. Like, we get so stuck on being in the limelight and being Beyonce. I say that all the time, but we have to understand that our passion is going to find the people that it's for. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm going to run it back, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here because y'all ain't about to have me over here under these hot lights. I need to eat something. I've been at work all day. My feet hurt. I need to, y'all not about to have me here all day. So I just want y'all to know that it's your turn. What does that mean? That means that you need to do all the things that are destined for you. The things that you have planned. The things that you never expected but God presents to you. You need to do that. And the things that make you happy and free. Regardless of what it looks like to other people, regardless of how it's perceived to the other people that you're used to, just know that when you're doing what makes you happy and free, you're going to find your people. Because you're really being you. There's no comfort in hiding. There's no comfort in trying to mask what you really want or how you really feel or what you really want to say. Say what you got to say, how you got to say it, live, how you want to live. If that makes sense. Okay? Next thing, know that when you are stepping into your turn, stepping into your life, moving in your purpose, you're going to be scared at a lot of points. You're going to lose some things, some people, and you're going to have lack of motivation. It's not always going to be exciting. That relationship not always going to be in the honeymoon phase. That job not always going to be good to you. That passion, that project, that creative thing that you are trying to develop, you're not always going to want to do it. It's not always going to make sense. It's going to crumble at some point, but it's up to you to figure out the recipe to get it back. To check in with yourself internally and know that, this vision is still here. I haven't lost the vision. I may have just lost a couple steps. The steps to the vision may have cracked a little bit. I got to repair it before I can keep climbing, but it's still yours. The vision is still there. It's not moving. So get to it. Next thing, when you're stepping into your turn, it may look different. It may look different from what you were taught. It may look different from what you had planned for yourself. It may look different than what the people around you believe. You still got to do it anyway. Okay? That's all I got for y'all. And I just want to know what y'all are stepping into. So make sure you get your heart work journal. What vision are you stepping into? What role are you stepping into? How are you stepping up? Write that down in your journal that you are going to click the link to order on Amazon so that you can keep track of the growth, because it's going to be a moment when you look back at this journal, y'all, and you're going to be like, dang, I planned it. I did it. I had to take a couple steps back, but I didn't give up. That's why journalism is important, because when you get to where you want to go, or sometimes when you lose your way, you're going to go back to the things that you wrote. That's your goals, your vision. You ain't got to check it. You ain't got to run it by nobody. That's all you. Okay? I want to see y'all be great. It is your turn. You have watched, studied, learned, and planned long enough. It's your turn. Okay? I love y'all. Bye. We did it, y'all. Whew, that was great. I guess I had to get that off my chest. Shout out to everybody who is on live. Please make sure y'all are sharing the video. That was good. Yeah. See y'all next time. Next week, I don't even know what we're talking about next week, y'all. Because y'all know it's a new month. So y'all know the month of May I had to line up. I got to figure out where we going with this for next month. Because this is the last month in our proceed phase. And then after proceed is produce. Meaning you're going to start to see the fruits of your labor. Okay? So I hope y'all was taking y'all little notes or whatever. Or you got your hard work journal on the side of you when you get into it. But be on the lookout, y'all. It's up from here. Ain't no turning back. We in this thing, okay? See y'all later. Bye.